There we go.
Yes. Welcome everyone again to the Wellness Lifestyle Conference hosted by Priscilla Dredridge. She is here with us. Thank you, Priscilla. So we are facilitating, she's asked us as the High Vibe Tribe. The High Vibe Tribe is those of us who are unmuted. Ashley Mulchin is our energetic goddess. Thank you, Ashley. Susan Hayes is our flame Triss. Love it. She is our spark activator. And Janie Lynn from Arizona. And Janie is our galactic code creator. She gets a lot of information in and she codes all around things for us. So I'm a consciousness revolutionary. I am here to be a pattern interrupter. Those of us that are here in the tribe, we've all known each other for probably a decade or longer at this point. And some of us are #1 international bestsellers together. Many of us have written our own books. Some of us have been a part of the global TV series, Unlocking Your Limitless Life. And so we all felt connected to get together to create the High Vibe Tribe. And really, when we all got together, we realized that each of us had different talents, abilities, and capacities to facilitate a greater possibility for humanity. So our prime directive is to raise the vibrational frequency, and by being invited to participate in this forum, we jumped at the chance. And thank you, Priscilla, again so much. It's truly been an honor to be here. We had an incredible aha moment by Nirvana yesterday. And I know, Nirvana, you weren't sure if you could come on, but you did. And there was something yesterday that she was like, absolutely not. There's no way. I can't do it. I can't have it. It's out of my comfort zone. And within an hour, so we did a clearing. We worked together on it and shifted her point of view about that. And Nirvana, if you wanted to come on and share, or you don't have to, I can share. Oh, here she is. Here she comes.
No worries.
Hello, lovely. Yeah. What happened for you?
Well, it's really being able to stand in my power and being able to know that what I have to offer has value and not minimize myself, which I do a lot. Like, oh, it's them and I'm only me, and so I put people on different levels. In my mind, spiritually, I know that it's a different aspect completely. But when I get into my own insecurities, so I was not able to do an email, which I wanted to restructure maybe the questions a little bit better because I do the feminine round table just before you guys on the conference. And so Tracy was like, let's structure it a little bit. And I said, there's no way it's coming from my fingers onto my keyboard into an email. And there's no way I'm sending that. So we had a clearing. This number 33 that came up, and Susan had the card, which was quite amazing that she had that card yesterday. That's right. And so after that, I wrote the email and I constructed it beautifully, laid out the questions, the 5 questions, and asked everybody if we could kind of just, format it so that it's more structured a little bit. And so, yeah, the clearing really, really brought me into my own, which, I'm very grateful.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And what was so powerful about that, Nirvana, was it was like this. Like you went from an absolutely no way, not happening, to a holy cow, I just did it. And you were willing to receive like a different possibility. And so many of us, right? Yeah, Susan's giving you a thumbs up. So many of us have this thing in our life where there's like absolutely no way, we're not doing it, we're not having it, it goes against everything I believe in. And what if like all of this is coming up for all of us right now, so we can take the next step, so we can let it go, so we can shift and change, because like when you think of the frequency of no way, not having it, like do you feel expansive or do you feel contractive?
Yeah, definitely more expansive. And the fact that it was so well received, that the replies afterwards that I got from everybody else was like, that's great. Yes, absolutely can do that. So it just shows how fear is false evidence appearing real,
Yes.
and how we create that in our own minds.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Can I
And
speak to that for a second?
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
Ashley.
And also, you were in flow. You're in the flow of stuff. We're always in the flow of how things are happening. And then from our experiences that have happened in the past, we think that you hold on, like the mind, your memory holds on to, this is what had happened. I am not going to do it. You may be consciously or unconsciously aware of it, but something in you stops you from being in that flow, like how you were like, okay, no, there's no way I'm doing that. But if you had just like, you got the opportunity, we cleared it, some energetic stuff happened, and then you just did it, and I'm sure it was a success today.
Yes, it was. It
So
was
it's
amazing, really amazing.
especially,
Priscilla was there. Steph was there.
yes,
Stefan. It's really awesome.
especially, we're all beings, we're human beings,
Mm,
we're spiritual beings in a material body. This is
mm,
solid, it's material, it's solid, it's here, but you're still spiritual, and being connected to that consciousness, being in that flow, can open so many doors for us. We just have to allow it.
That's a key word, is allow. How many of us ask, oh, I don't know what to do, how can I do this? And then it's there, but we don't allow ourselves to receive it because of some fear or limiting belief systems. Sometimes the answer is right there. Well, you were asking, you received it, so Nirvana.
Congrats, Nirvana.
Thank you, everyone.
I personally think that the beautiful purple that you have has nothing to do with it whatsoever.
That's just the crazy me.
Yeah, it's you being you. It's your authenticness. And if that's not a word, I just made it up.
It is. I like it.
Okay, good. So, so our prime directive here on the planet is to raise a vibrational frequency, and we do it with our 5 Ps. So we connect with the pets, the plants, the people, the planet, and we have a plan. So our idea was to open this up, this hour that we have together, to any of you that have things that are, maybe stuck, maybe not working for you. I know yesterday we talked about the speed bumps. And we had to check because we weren't even sure if South Africa had speed bumps, where you're cruising along with what you're doing and who you are, and then you have to slow down, and Linda's shaking her head up and down, like, yep, she knows, she gets it, and then go over speed bumps, and then you speed up again and then slow down and then go over the speed bumps safely so your life doesn't crash and you don't scratch the under part of your car, and that kind of metaphor. But what is it that we can contribute to you? Is it something in relationships? Is it something with finances, career, the next step, unsurety? And you can unmute yourself and talk and let us know, like, what's happening. And you're in an incredibly safe place. None of us have any judgments, which is the beautiful part about it. And we're here to create like a different possibility. So who'd like to go first?
Not everyone.
Priscilla, she's raising her hand. Yeah.
Go for it.
Hello, guys. Thank you. I'm actually sharing this Zoom with my friend, Claire, and she wanted to know if you could help her because she's having a lot of issues with relationships in terms of maintaining a relationship, and she ends up having a lot of panic attacks relating to them. So what advice would you ladies give her?
Yeah, absolutely. Does it speak to any of you three personally?
Yes.
Yeah, so we all have had
Amy,
panic
yes.
attacks.
Yes.
So my first thing would be, of course, food. Look at what you eat. Like, look at what you're putting into your body, because sometimes we may buy stuff outside or we even prepare it, but the energy that we put in the food while preparing it, or the energy that goes in it while it's being prepared in the restaurant or in the, or when harvesting, it's energy, it goes in it. When we consume it, our body picks up on that energy. So my first thing to her would be, look at what you eat, because I come from that background. And then I'm sure the other girls have some other information for her as well.
Yeah, Ashni, I love what you're saying, because, we're all made of molecules. Our food that's what energy is molecules, and we're all energy. The food we eat is energy, the technology we're using, the clothing we wear, even ourselves, is all energy, and every molecule has consciousness. So when you're creating with anger and then you're eating the anger, or you're creating with love and you're eating the love, so there is a process that we can give you that will transmute whatever that is with food, so you're eating clean emotionally, if that makes sense to you guys. It was interesting. My soon-to-be 18-year-old was eating with a fork at the table, and I mean, how conscious are our kids? And he had the fork in his hand. I'm just going to pretend this is a fork, and he said to me, Mom, this is not a happy fork. I said, a happy, like, okay, this is new for me, right? A happy fork. It's a fork. You're eating your food. No, Mom, this is not a happy fork. And, there's like a lot of anger with this fork, sadness, anger and sadness. And I said, okay, well, I'll get you another one. I reach out, he goes, no, Mom, I'm going to pick out my own silverware. I was like, okay, didn't trust me. So he went over and he comes back with a spoon. I was like, what happened to the fork? And he said, no, the forks aren't happy. None of them are happy. He goes, but this spoon is happy. I have a happy spoon. So he's like eating steak and like salad with a spoon. And I'm like, okay, like I don't have a point of view about it, but like how aware was he about that? And he said, as I keep eating, like sadness is coming in and anger is coming in. And it's like, he felt like it was infecting like his entire body. So I know, Ashni, that speaks to what you're talking about.
Yes, it does. Yep.
Yeah.
Can I put a point in there? In terms of what she was saying about what we consume, and I was speaking to somebody who is a vegan and who is very anti-eating meat of any kind. And they said that every piece of meat that you consumed is a piece of fear, because the animal is sacrificed in a fearful way, or is murdered in a sense. So you're actually eating something that is contradictory to what you're trying to do for your body.
Well, and that could be even if it's like grass-fed or grain,
Yes.
organic, free range. There's still, if the ending wasn't done in a kind way, then
Yes.
Absolutely. And it's kind of like you guys are all familiar with Dr. Emoto's with his water molecules and stuff.
Yeah.
But your food is just like that too, in essence.
And it's very important to know that what we consume is important to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so
it's what nourishes us.
I have a different thought on that. So I believe that, well, we know everything is energy, everything has molecules. The plants that we eat, they're alive. So why do we think that it's Jenny mentioned it's about how they're died or how they are killed. I mean, even picking plants, if you're just being rough or whatever, I believe that since it's all alive and it's humanely sacrificing it, and maybe this is a choice that plants, animals have made, and I think that our belief systems, if we feel that something if we believe that it's going to be harmful to us, then I think it will be. I'm a meat eater, so I buy meat that is organically grown, and I'm hoping that it's not being sacrificed in a way that is cruel. And I know there's going to be some difference in terms of what the idea is cruel. I feel like belief systems have a lot to do with how our body responds to whatever we ingest in ourselves.
Yes. Yes. And I have to agree with you also, because see, it is an individual choice. There are a lot of movements that they bring awareness. Yes, not everyone on the planet can be vegan. Not everyone on the planet eat meat. Not everyone is vegetarian. There's all these different categories. What your body needs, and that comes in the different categories. It is even connected to your blood type. Believe it or not, it is even connected to your blood type. If you're O, guess what? Your body functions better when you get that animal protein into your system. If you're A type, I'm talking about the blood types, A, B, O, all of that. If you are an A type, you can manage without having meat ever in your life. If you're B, you love all the processed food and your body can actually function with all of that. But it goes deeper than just the blood type, because it's the qualities. I mean, that's another lecture. I don't want to be lecturing, but it's also the individual choice, what people do. And from our side, if someone is a vegan, respect it. It's their choice. If someone
Yes.
eats meat, just bring that awareness. Be aware of the energy that goes in the food that you're eating. But the question was, she had a problem with relationships. So
Well, and
my
I was wondering if I could.
food, and I'm sure Jamie, what do you have?
Yeah, the food is important.
Yes.
And Priscilla, you said she was having panic attacks.
Yeah. How often?
So that is a form of fear, which I can
Yeah,
completely
she gets them pretty
relate to.
often. Yeah, she gets them pretty often, not just in relation to relationships, but in life itself.
Yes, so there's something she has looping where she's not safe. Either she believes she's not safe, or somewhere at some point she really wasn't safe. And it just left.
Yeah, no.
Maybe we cleared it.
Yeah, right? Like disappeared. So,
Yeah.
Priscilla, is she there with you in the room?
Yeah, she's here next to me.
Okay, lovely. Yeah, so what I have noticed with anxiety is it's your body that's receiving information. So when you start to have the can't breathe and the nauseous and the panic, the fear, that's information that your body's giving you. And if it's in relationships, it could be, that we're not supposed to be with that person. And our body's giving us information. And it's like the, when you step through with like a tracking device and the alarms will go off, it goes beep, 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 beep. Well, that's your body's like alarm system, and it's going beep, 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 like be aware, like this might not be in your highest and best interest. And it could be too that like there are some people who are very attuned to the earth, and when they walk on the earth, like even though it's asphalt or tar or a parking lot or a building, like they still are able to sense what took place at that time on that land. So if there was a battle or a burial or a sacred site or something that happened on the land will speak to them, but their conscious mind is like, I'm freaking out and this is a parking lot. You know what I mean? Like and your body. So let's ask the body questions. So these are some questions that she can ask. So, okay, body, right? Is this something that I need to be aware of, right? Truth body, are you safe? Because a lot of bodies will let you know when you're stepping into or going into something that's not safe for it. Because we, being the top of the echelon of the food chain, we don't have any predators anymore. we are our only predators. So when we weren't like that, when we were tribal and indigenous, our field of awareness was so much larger. It was like that of the animal population, because animals need to know where their food is and where they're being hunted. So we collapsed in on ourselves, and we don't have that space of awareness any longer. But some of us, and this could be your beautiful, gorgeous friend, Priscilla, I love her energy. Could be that she's aware, like her body's letting her know, you know what, like this is not going to be a kindness for us to be here. Does that
Susan?
resonate? Does that resonate for her?
Yes, yes, it does.
Can I speak to the kindness thing? I remembered what came in and left. So we have been taught what kindness is. Our body has a whole different awareness on what kindness is. So when we're feeling the anxiety and the panic attacks, when we're inside of a relationship and it has to do with that, for one, yes, it's because we are aware our body is talking. And so look at the relationship. Is it all about the person? Is it all about, cutting yourself off to be there, for one? And then, there's some things that, so if you're choosing to be with somebody that's along the lines of like psychopath or narcissistic or A, B, C, D, E, and F and to Z, your body is going to tell you, you will have panic attacks because that is not a kind situation. Yes. And in 2020, we don't put up with that, right?
Your body's going to start speaking more loud. If not listening.
He's agreeing with you.
Yeah. And so sometimes
Yes.
being kind looks like not allowing somebody's behavior in your space, right? Without judgment, without a point of view. It's like body says no, done. And we have, a lot of us women have this thing where, we're afraid to hurt somebody. So we cut ourselves off, and literally our bodies will make us sick when we're staying in that situation, because it's like we're afraid to hurt somebody else, but yet we're willing to kill ourselves to be there.
Yes, true.
So, really look at which aspects of the relationship are kind and if they're not. And, sometimes getting out of the relationship is not an easy task, and it's not wrong.
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong in being kind to you. Yeah.
Does she have any other questions, or did that speak to her?
No, that's all resonates.
Yes, it all resonates with her quite well. She's just nodding her head up and down.
Good. We're so glad. Thank you, Priscilla, for inviting her. Thank you for being brave enough and vulnerable to speak, to ask.
Yeah.
And we're here, and our door is always open. If you haven't yet jumped over to the Facebook group, the High Vibe Tribe, highly recommend you heading over there. We go live at 5s on Fridays, US time. And we have, topics and guests and things like that. And we're here to create a different possibility for you on the planet. So did she have any other questions, Priscilla, for us?
No, she's okay. She's shy.
That's okay. That's okay. You're welcome.
The thing is that she hates asking for help. She's always the one doing for others. So when it comes to herself, she always puts herself last on the list.
None of us. None of us do that.
Okay.
It pays to also have foresight, you see.
She's the only one who does that. Right, Susan? Yeah, well, great. Thank you. Is there someone else?
Susan, I have a question for the group, if I could.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's in similar again to what Nirvana said. I'm trying to achieve something, and I'm being blocked all the time. What I would like to achieve, and I've been working on this for a while now, is to speak at the United Nations in relation to the ETs that are engaging our planet. They want to communicate with them. I've got to a position where I was nominated to speak at the Enlightenment Society at the UN, and it went to their board of executives for a decision. I haven't had a reply yet. They said there was a reply, but I got confirmation that they received the nomination by a well-known person, and they're considering it now. But the other day I was speaking to another experiencer, and perhaps someone in the group can explain and help me with this. And what she said, Kevin, what you need to do is use your heart energy communication direct to the individuals at the UN, and that particular lady who sent the request to the executive board. But I don't know how to do that. I've got many abilities and many skills, but I don't know how to do that. And so really,
Can we rephrase that? You don't remember how to do that.
Okay, I don't remember how to do that now. So if someone can remind me, I would be very grateful.
Absolutely. So it's called energy pulse.
Energy pulse. Okay.
Yeah. And so there's like 3 different types of energies that people can be. They can be a pusher of energy, and you know them because they have called you on the phone and tried to sell you something and wouldn't let you get off the phone, and they were pushing their agenda on you. Then there's pullers, and those are the people that are pulling you to them, and those are the people that knock on your door and be like, oh, but you know, like religion, and I'm going to sell you something, and come out here and talk to me. And yeah, so, and those could be friends that suck the life out of you, so they pull energy. And then the other one is they're neutral, and those are the people where you go over and you just check for a pulse, like, is anybody there? You know, like they're neither up nor down. So what you do is you take a look at that energy, Kevin, of what they're being, right? And then you're going to do one of 3 things. So if they're pushing energy at you, what's our normal response? And anyone can answer this. If someone's pushing, what do you do?
Resist.
Push back.
Push back.
Yeah.
Right? You go, wait a minute, like, I need my space, step back. Is that you, Kevin?
No, I'm ready to move forward with this. I would like to speak at the UN, but I'm just reached this blockage somehow, and I mean, I'm not known in any circles at all, really. So it's quite an achievement just to get to be nominated. I was very surprised by that, but I still have that goal. I still have that ambition. I still have that drive to do that, and I've been asked to do it by my ET guides as well. They want to do that, so I will be representing them when I do that. But it's just this heart energy communication.
Right.
I'll say I communicate in many ways using many modalities of contact, but I don't use this heart energy communication. Perhaps I need to do more research on it, and I have tried doing it by thinking about it, by pushing the energy out towards these people.
Right.
But I'm not receiving anything back at this moment in time. But I will persevere. You know, I've got a few more years left yet.
What if your technique is like you're pushing them away? Like you're pushing energy out. And that's why I was just talking to you briefly about the difference. So if they're pushing energy at you, our initial reaction is to block them. Like, because you know, they're getting in your space, they're in your energy field. But really, if someone's pushing energy at you, you want to pull it all out of them. You want to drain them out.
So if I do it the other way, then if I invite them to communicate with me through that heart energy communication, I have to look at my notes here because I still can't remember it. Heart energy communication. So if I invite them to give me the information, well, is that the way to do it?
Right. So instead of pushing them away, you're going to pull them into you, pull them into your energy. So you just envision your energy, and it's going to be a circle. So it's not something that just comes to you and stops. It's going to come through you. And you pick the pieces. So it's the person, it's the UN building, it's the paperwork, it's the computer, it's the internet, like the email, like all of the connections that you have.
That's why I invite that energy in towards me.
Yes, into your heart.
I can do that. I can try that anyway.
It's similar to remote viewing through your heart.
Oh, okay. I can't do that either. I can remote view, but I don't tend to use my heart for. This lady also explained to me there were different levels of energies. One above us, one in the head, one in the heart, and one in the stomach area. Well, again, I'm still learning. I'm learning a lot about consciousness and spirituality and things. So I'm not aware of those. I'm becoming aware of those now. And obviously, if we have these 4 stages, and this heart one is obviously important in relation to communication. I use my heart to communicate with my family, my friends, obviously, and my pets, my animals, nature. But to use it as just pure communication, I say I'm used to all the other modalities of contact. So I will try that, and I do appreciate the advice and the help on that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, and speak to that, Kevin, because you touched something where, yes, here and here. In our body, we have the different energy centers. Those are the unseen centers where energy is hosted in different areas of the body. In my tradition, where I come from, we call it chakras or spinning wheels. And they usually spin in a direction, clockwise or counterclockwise. When they spin clockwise, your energy moves up. When they spin counterclockwise, your energy moves down. In all of these 7 centers, they start at the base of the spine. Then there's one in the base of the spine, one around the genitals, one around your solar plexus, one in the heart, one in the throat, one in between the eyebrows, and one on top here. They all have their functions. And when they move in the clockwise direction, they lift your energy up. When they move counterclockwise, they bring your energy down. Sometimes it's good to bring your energy down when you're too hyper and going. You need to bring your energy down. So none of them is good or bad. They're both there. You have to know how to use them. There are practical practices, and I would share this with you particularly. I'll probably text you if that's okay, where to expand the connection or the communication, where you can actually have that heart communication. That's a practice that you do. So I'll share it with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have a couple of comments that I just want to share from our participants. So Nirvana, hold on, I'm just going to read. Nirvana wanted to share something, and I'm actually let me just share. Priscilla had said that the council was not ready to accept what you have to share yet.
The UN Council?
I'm sorry, what?
The UN Council?
Is that what you meant?
She's nodding, yeah.
Okay. I'm getting divine timing, but maybe the divine timing is all coming as well. And Nirvana wanted to share something with us. So Nirvana, go ahead.
Hi, thanks, Kevin. This is one of my favorite subjects. I love talking about ETs and off-planet stuff, and that's really something I feel is still quite hidden away. And one of the people that I really follow and enjoy listening to that talks a lot about this, Susan knows as well, is Laura Eisenhower. And, if you can connect with her, she's really connected to all the people. She will be on my round table tomorrow on this platform at 2:45 tomorrow, South African time. And so, if you want to join and maybe connect with her, and if also Susan would share maybe my details with you, would love to have you come and tell me all about what you have regarding the ETs. I really love that. Thanks.
I appreciate that invite, Nirvana, but unfortunately tomorrow I'm going to a celebration of life for a friend of mine. So I'm going to be tied up all day. But if I can give you my email, and if you can email me, I will gladly and be very pleased and honoured to join your group and and meet some more people. That will be, I would,
Great.
and I think Susan has my email, or I can email you. I don't know. We'll get in touch anyway. And yes, I do appreciate that again. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Nirvana, what is 2:45 Eastern time or South African time?
South African time. So yeah, so that's early in the morning for you Americans, really early.
Yeah, you can, Kevin, do you know how to put your email in the chat box?
I'll probably have a look. You know, I'm technically challenged.
I know. I figure I would expand your technical savvy. Look at you go.
To make a point on what I was trying to say to Kevin earlier on in the message, when he was talking, I just got an image of the council not ready to hear what he has to say. It's not that they don't want to hear what he has to say. It's just that, as Jenny was saying about the divine timing, it's not the right time. There's too much else going on in the universe and in the United Nations for there to be any kind of significant impact in what his words will bring.
I agree. Yep.
Okay, so that was what I was trying to bring forward. It would get lost in the crowd, it would get lost in the shuffle, and that's not what his intention is. He wants to make an impact in a statement that's going to stand out to the world, and it'll get lost in all the shuffle of everything else that's happening globally at the moment. So you can blame COVID for that.
Okay, Priscilla, thank you. That makes sense again. I think perhaps I've asked my ET guys what to do now, and I always follow their guides and no, their guidance, should I say? And they say all they want me to do at the moment is continue to talk about my lifelong interaction with them, which I am doing. But there's this end goal to speak at that United Nations. But you may very well be correct that now is not the right time.
And I actually feel like you're actually going to go to New York. So the fact that you can't travel at the moment is also an indication that it's not time. Because there's no global travel at the moment. You're actually physically going to go there to talk. And you have to be in New York for that. So my job is being a psychic medium. So that's why I'm giving you that information, because that's what I saw when you were talking about it.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I need all the help I can get.
Being patient. One of your issues that you have to learn is being patient.
Okay, I will be patient. Thank you.
Earth, Kevin. ET time and Earth time is maybe different.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for asking that question. Yes, do we have a hand up?
Diana is having her hand up.
No. Diana is adjusting her screen.
Okay.
That's what I was doing. Thank you.
Thank you. So what else can we contribute to any of you? Is there anybody else who has a question, a situation, a complication, anyone having judgment, separation? Yes, no, maybe, Deborah?
Linda.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question, please, because we in a transition phase at the moment. I do a lot of spiritual work. I do shamanic work. We are in the phase of, like many people, where there's lots of closures and lots of new beginnings. My husband has got a specific project going that he has spent many years on, that has to do with electricity generation in an alternative way that is more green and everything, but in South Africa it hasn't gone anywhere. He's at the I think they call it the pilot plant stage.
Program.
And obviously we need to take this out into the world, because it is meant for humanity and the greater whole, so that we are less dependent on government departments and the way things are going right now. It's obviously a humanitarian thing. Also to allow people that we've got a lot of people in the rural areas that actually need electricity as well. But unfortunately, there's a lot of color situation in South Africa where if you're having any kind of business or to make any potential, you've got to have a BEEE partner kind of situation. So it means they eventually take over your business, all that kind of stuff. So we have spent quite some time on this, and we've realized and know, and it has been blocked for us coming out in South Africa. So we in that phase where, like, you know, we're not youngsters anymore, but at the same time we're needing to leave South Africa. So currently financially it's not 100% possible for us to do just that. And he was also looking for funding for his project, but we have plans in place at the moment while COVID's doing its thing. We've invested in some cryptos that we are trusting will actually do it for us, to get us out of the country and to go and take this abroad. We also, I know that it's not 100% the timing right now with everything that is happening, especially in America, because America is the ones that are leading the way forward for the world. And I do believe that. And so therefore, politically, you guys are in a very dire situation at the moment, and financially the systems are going to change and all of these kind of things. So I fully accept and understand all of that. And I think it is a time of settling instead of, or settling into the new energies, or allowing to happen what needs to happen before this project of his will go out. But I would personally like to leave South Africa. I have a child that's in Ireland and I have little grandkiddies there. So I would obviously love to go back to Ireland, or to go to Ireland. It's very much like home for me when I'm there. Because I really do feel that South Africa, I'm done with South Africa. I think I've done what I needed to do in this country.
So how could we, Linda, like, what is your question? How could we contribute?
My question is, if anybody has any other message to what I have said, or would like to just give me some ways perhaps of, maybe they, you know, when we look at our own stuff, sometimes we just see so much. Yeah. So I would like to ask if anybody perhaps has either a message of agreement or anything else that perhaps is there that I need to take note of, and be patient maybe at this stage. So please, if you wouldn't mind, to just absolutely with that.
So I've placed in the comments a resource for you. Her name is Susan Manwich. She and I grew up together in this little town up in Ludlow, Massachusetts. And Susan is the president and board of directors for Free Energy here in the United States. So she travels the world and has talked about green energy and free energy.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you. I will certainly, yes. Do you want, okay, so we can connect.
Yes, so I put her information there for you. Local Earth Organization.
Thank you.
And then she does a series where she talks about it and what it is and how to get it out and what's happening. And it's very, she's just like your husband is, about how she needs to be careful about what she says and what she shares, because it's sort of not well received by those people who are in the industry keeping us on coal and power energy coal. So those, can you get to the chat? You see the chat?
Yes, I've got the chat. Sorry, I was opening something and I'm a little bit unfamiliar with Zoom, so I'm still learning it a bit, but I'll get back into the chat for the minute. I'm sorry about if you guys are seeing my screen, I apologize.
But, no, it's okay. I could tell that you hadn't made the connection.
I did hear what you were saying. Thank you. I'm a Gemini. I can do more than one thing at a time, mostly.
Got it. So yes. So those will be resources for you and for your husband.
Thank you.
And we both have the same name, Susan. So, you know.
Great.
Yeah.
Susan, thank you. You know, to work with somebody in the field, I think is so much easier than trying to find the leads and trying to find the people, because it's like you either follow it their way and they don't give you a platform, or they don't look at it. And I mean, we know it's spirit driven, because he dreamt this all awake,
Yes.
you know, and so when he was doing the designing and things, and whenever there was a problem, spirit would give him the answer. And this is the way to go look. And then you do his research, and he would do the next step. I mean, this was completely divinely guided to him. So we do understand, but having a contact in the US directly would be absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Deep
And
gratitude.
she's a contactee and experiencer.
Ooh. Absolutely.
So she's, yes.
Thank you. Deep gratitude.
She's got both worlds, and she's very highly educated.
Thank you very much. I
You're
really
welcome,
do appreciate
Linda.
that.
Thank you for
Thank you,
asking.
Susan.
Thank you for
yes.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Yeah, that's for sure. Much gratitude. Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. So who else here has something they would like to ask about, has a question, would like any of the experts' guidance or awareness or consciousness? I can tell that there's questions there. Can you guys get that?
Mm-hmm.
Janie.
Well, Linda wanted to share something for Kevin.
Yeah.
Linda said that, and I think, you're already doing this, so maybe you're not sure about a channel. She said that maybe he can start writing about it. Kevin's actually written a couple of books. He just has a second one that came out. If you want to throw it, do you know how to throw that into the chat, Kevin?
I've just put something in the chat. I can type it in, but I don't know if it's going through. But I do have a website with quite a few interviews on, and both my books there that I've published recently. And my website is just my name, Kevin J, the initial, Briggs.com. So it's Kevin J Briggs, just the initial. And then if you go to events and media, there's quite a few interviews there. In fact, there's one I did with Susan with the channel. Probably about 2 years ago now, Susan, but and that was just showed on the UK TV. I mean, that's just amazing, Susan. So I mean, it's all down to you, Susan.
Yeah, Kevin, sorry, as you were talking, I was sort of thinking around the Patreon platform, perhaps, or YouTube platform where you actually have a channel and you bring out your information and you actually get people to participate, perhaps. And it can even be a monetizing way for you, perhaps, to look at it. So I don't know where that came from. I thought I should just mention that it is then doing the work, getting the ET information out, but to the platform that is interested in it now and ready for it now, instead of just waiting for the global platform, you know, when they are ready. So that was just my suggestion to you. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I think that's a very good idea, Linda. And I have been thinking about it, but I'm a bit of a technophobe, really. And but I've learned so much as I've been trying to get the information out there that I'll just persevere with that. But I do think that's a good idea. But I was asked on a TV show last Friday, and after the show, it's just a local TV show in Tampa. And the producer said he'd like the three of us who wrote out my second book, as it were, we're three author contributors to the second book, to have a show each week. So, and it goes out live on a Friday morning, 10 to 11, and then he replays it in the evening at 8:30. And we're talking about ETs, about communication, about consciousness, about quantum mechanics. So we are getting the information out there, but I think I would agree with you. Perhaps YouTube would be the way for me to go a little bit further with my own personal contact.
Yes.
So I'll take that on board, Linda. Thank you.
Yeah, no, great. There's another channel also called BitChute, if YouTube isn't the right forum, because sometimes these days, if you say things on YouTube as an alternative channel, then they chop you. Yeah. So there's another one called BitChute. And otherwise, you can have a Patreon platform that you can perhaps bring specific messages through to people, and they've got to pay you to listen to it, which means your stuff, whatever it is, even these radio shows that you have, maybe they can do a recording for you, and you can place it onto those channels, and people, you know, you'll have a free side and you have a paying side. So the free side they can listen to, and the paying side at least gives you a little bit of money in your pocket around the way. Patreon.
What was the name of the first site? I got BitChute. What was the first one?
Patreon channels. Patreon, yeah.
Okay, got that. Thank you.
Patreon.com. It is a US-based company. Yeah. So
Okay, I'll have a look at that. Thank you.
it's a pleasure. That's just the sense that I had. And then people can tune in. You know, you can also advertise it on your shows, and people can go there and they can go and look at it at any stage, not just when it's being recorded or broadcasted on the radio show. Just as I got that message when you were talking. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. I will act on that. I mean, we get the information, but we have to make action and make these things happen and manifest it. So I will act on that. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank
Kevin, in the comments in the chat, I placed your link for your global TV series. So if you'd like to see Kevin, his interview, it's a 30-minute, it was Webby nominated for an award here in the United States. Ashni was the producer of it, and he channels in one of his council members during that. So if you want to copy that link, you'll have it. And then I also put your email in there, Kevin.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm happy for anybody to contact me. Anybody wants any information, I'm just quite happy to. Just do what my ET guides have asked me to do, share the information. So if you're prepared to listen, I'm prepared to speak.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. In fact, I have one of your books here, Consciousness, Spiritual, and Personal Journey. And this is what his cover looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
It's
beautiful. Awesome.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Kevin Briggs. And he talks about this on the YouTube.
Oh, it's very beautiful. Yeah, very beautiful.
I have it there, look.
Oh, there you go.
There we are. I have it on my desk.
Look at that.
There's the full size.
Awesome.
And I just want to say, Kevin, that I will be happy to help you get some of your stuff on YouTube, do a little bit of editing, put some of your, even that logo of your book or whatever. I love doing that. I do a lot for that, for Body and Mind. I do a lot of their members' interviews and do editing. So get you going, and then, you can take it from there.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I've put my email address in the chat. I don't know if you've received it, have you?
Yes, I've got it. Thank you.
Okay, we're good then. Okay, I appreciate that. So, excellent.
Look at Kevin.
I'm a happy chappy.
On my screen, Kevin is in the center of my screen. And Kevin is getting all of this. How did you create that, Kevin?
We're surrounded by women.
I'm in the flow.
Yes, you are. In the center of the flow.
Yeah.
Your ETs are guiding you.
Beautiful,
Awesome.
beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah. So just to share a little bit about our group, we're going to be facilitating a program called the Home and Back Adventure. And we have, the High Vibe Tribe, we come on, we do live, we do these Zooms, but we also meet outside of those events, and we take a look at the energy that's here on the planet. And we're aware of, what is called the 100th monkey effect. And it's where the critical mass of consciousness reaches a certain point where it could tip in either direction. And that affects the morphogenetic field that we all have around ourselves. And so what's really kind of at the top of the thing right now with the COVID and the corona and the pandemic is the fear, pain, anxiousness, anxiety, separation of, being infected, have a family member infected, and death. And so we took a look at that, and we were called to create a program that would demystify death and dying. So we are here to debunk that, and we just did our first live. I don't know, Janie or Susan, if you could capture that link to our live and stick it in the comments, that would be great.
You have it, Janie?
I can do it.
Okay.
Janie to the rescue.
I'm already playing around here because I know where Susan's going.
I figured you had it. I was afraid I would lose the call with trying to.
Yeah, so this is our magic technological wand, and we just wave it, and Janie kind of goes, abracadabra, and it's there. It just shows up. Yeah, so we've been asked to create a program with near-death experiencers. So we have 5. They're hand-selected specifically, have come to us in our awareness. We've interviewed with them, and they're all around the world. So we have Donna Riley, she's in the US. We have other speakers from the UK, south of Wales, Australia, and South Africa. In fact, Priscilla, who is running this program, the Wellness Conference, is also going to be one of our speakers. She's had near-death experiences not once, but twice. So in the process of creating this gorgeous manual, this companion journal called the Home and Back Adventure has asked to be created, and Janie has just done like a phenomenal job with this. So I wanted to flip through and just show you there's 45 pages in here with content, adventures. There's a quiz, a self-assessment for you to take on your points of view about dying. These are areas for you to take notes on questions that our guests will be asking. Then you have the High Vibe Tribes information with our pictures. And then here's Sharon McNeil. She's also a part of this conference in South Africa, so she'll be there. Here's Leo Bonomo. Leo is from the UK. He has a radio station in the Las Vegas area, which he'll be interviewing me on Thursday. This is Donna Riley from the US. And there's Paul Williamson. Here is Paul Williamson. So we have quite a few individuals that are here that will be contributing with us in creating a different possibility for humanity, because we'd like to take out the fear, the pain, the loss, the sadness that has to do with death, and restore peace and love, you know, with that, and help this balance that's taking place. So we don't go all the way up. You know, pain and sadness and fear and anxiety doesn't become the main element, you know, that our collective consciousness has. Because what happens is and they're all high-fiving each other here, so something great must have happened.
Always.
Yes, I got a double thumbs up.
Sorry.
That's good. So the balance, you know, doesn't go in one direction. So what happens is, if it does hit that point, then these different waves, because they're already letting us know that these waves of, you know, wave 2, wave 3 of all these outbreaks that are going to be happening can actually be psychosomatically created within our bodies based on the collective consciousness that affects our morphogenetic field, because we're all connected. So people will be experiencing the symptoms of it, even though the pathogen is not present. And this is not, you know, out there. This is science. Like, you can Google search this. This is, you know, scientifically been proven that this is what can potentially happen. So we've been called to offset that balance by creating this program. And I know, Janie, you have a link right, that you'd like to share with the group, so we can, you know, really get this out there to, you know, everyone all around the world, to have a possibility, a different possibility than what you've been brought up with religion and culture. Yeah, and what you're supposed to do and what society says. So she's sharing her screen, and this is the bit.ly link.
Yes, and I will put it in the chat as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, thanks.
So you click on this link, and it will take you I'm sure your computer's faster. It will take you here, and you have lots of different choices. Go ahead, Susan.
Yeah, so we, you can kind of scroll down. So it's on July 23rd. It's 7 to 9 Eastern time. And so this is an event link where you're able to get all the information about it. We're going to be taking questions, Q&A with our guests at the end of the event. These are our guest speakers. These are some of the things that they'll be talking about. We're very, very fortunate to have them here. Many of them have had situations where their life completely took a different turn. Some of them have lost children who've crossed over who now connect with them. There's Priscilla. She's hosting the event. Yeah, she's a psychic medium healer. Williamson, Paul. Yep, he works with people as a guide and a facilitator, and he teaches all about crossing over, supports people, does regression work. We have videos with them. There's Sharon. Sharon will be with us. It's her son who crossed over. And actually Sharon, Leo, and Donna all were on our show, our High Vibe Tribe Live on Friday yesterday. And that's the link that Janie put in the comments. So now you have access to that as well. Yeah.
It wouldn't let me share the video link. So I put the link for the High Vibe Tribe in the chat.
Oh, okay.
It's the first video that you scroll down to. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. And then this Friday coming up, we'll have the rest of our guests that we're going to be interviewing. And that will be Paul and Priscilla. And there's your companion journal right there. So yeah, we definitely wanted to put this out in the collective consciousness. Thank you for allowing us to do that with all of you. Yeah, so look, does anybody have any questions about that or something else? I know there's a couple people we haven't heard from.
I've got to leave now, Susan. I've got another commitment at 1 o'clock. So
okay.
I'd just like to say goodbye. Thank you for inviting me, and thanks to everybody for all the advice. I'm very grateful for it all, and it'll help me move forward now. So thank you, everybody, and we'll meet again, I'm sure. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Come pick me up in your spaceship.
I'm on my way.
A galactic cruise.
Oh,
The SS
Wouldn't
Kevin.
that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool? Okay then. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, Kevin.
and
Bye-bye.
Linda, do you have something to say?
Yes. Apologies. I also have to leave, unfortunately, also due to another commitment. But thank you so much for all your assistance. And Susan, thank you. We will get hold of other Susan.
You're
Deep
welcome.
gratitude, and I will go onto your Facebook page and join your group. Thank you.
You're welcome, honey.
Thank you all for your energy. It's been very beautiful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Linda. You have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thanks,
honey.
you too. Bye.
Nice. So now it's all people from in the house. This is Deborah Shea, my friend from New York, and that's a secret person whose name is Steph, who also joined us. So
yeah. Deborah, hey, beautiful. Steph, how are you? Where are you hailing from?
I am from New York City.
Yay!
Oh, I was in the middle of doing my hair, so I didn't dare show the camera.
Yeah.
A girl's got to do what a girl's got to do.
That's right. So what do you know about the UN in New York, Deborah, that Kevin's looking to connect with?
I know where it's located.
it's down the street from her, or up. It's up the street from her.
I can take a bus up there and be there in like 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yes. Is there something you want to know about the UN? I don't know if I can answer it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm like, how can we get a contact in there for Kevin?
I'm not sure, but because of the work that you're doing, I would probably, they have some kind of ecumenical religious affiliation organization. So I would suggest, looking that up and then contacting someone from there, because it's not actually in the general council itself. I think it's a separate organization.
Okay.
It might be like a church center or something. I just vaguely remember it, seeing it going by on the bus, and it's actually across the street from the UN.
Yeah, That confuses me because I think of UN as UN and the council as Kevin's council. But when you speak of council, you're talking about the UN council.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that part of their name, UN council?
No, it's just like, it's like having the US federal government, right? You have different agencies that work. So the council is actually the representatives from each country and what they're called is missions. So each mission has a different work that they do. Like, for example, I have a friend who works for the tribunals in The Hague, and they work on different war crimes, right? So that's like a separate mission. Then there's people who are on mission in different countries, traveling around the world. You know, they have operations, but most people, when they think of the UN, they think of that big room that's kind of half circle.
Yeah.
And consider it's like a meeting of ambassadors.
Yes.
Yeah. But most of the work doesn't happen there. Most of the work happens in missions.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thanks for being here today.
So as I used to say, whenever you need to know something, ask Deborah. Deborah has all knowledge. So it's not without the reason that Deborah is here and she was able to provide, you know. Thanks, Deb.
You're welcome.
Deborah, I just in New York.
Thanks.
So excited. Yeah. So Diana, you've been very quiet.
Yes. Can you unmute yourself so we can hear your nice voice and see your nice... Now she turned off her video.
That's what she had to say about that.
No.
So let's go ahead and close out the recording.
I lost you. Sorry.
I think you meant to hit the unmute, and maybe you hit the video.
I think so. Oh my goodness.
Diana with 2 N's.
No, 1 N.
No, I put 2. I'm sorry. I'm gonna change it now.
Oh my goodness. Your video has stopped. Okay.
Okay.
I'm unmuted, but I don't.
We can hear you.
I know. I can hear you too. Oh, wrong place.